started out in Atlanta, and then you, like you said, you're people artist. So now how did you manage to get that gig with Netflix? Were you just like in the right place at the right time and you said, yes, I can do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was in the right place at the right time. I'm gonna be very thorough with you all, which means that I really don't filter myself too much when it comes to talking. I'm not vulgar or profane or anything like that, but I mean, like, I'm just like the guys that I was hanging around, they were all dope boys. They were all people that was doing street life stuff, and they had more than enough money to go around, and I wasn't doing that. You know, I was always the artist. Like, I was always the artist in these little groups. Like, you know, all of the video game geeks, I was with them, and all of the gangsters, I was with them, and all of the, like, you know, groovy, like, you know, astrology and like vibe type people, I was with them. And then all the church kids, I was with them, but I was never one of any. So they had a lot of money, and they just wanted to like have a new shirt every day. They wanted new pants every day. And they were like, man, I'll pay you $100 to paint me a shirt. I want 6 of them. I said, okay. I get started, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the way it works. So,
wow. About how old were you when were you a teenager then, or like in your early, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was you mean when I first started painting?
Right. When you were doing the t-shirts and things like that.
Yes. I was actually in my early 20s.
Okay.
My early 20s when it started. I had a lot of ups and downs with my art, because people would always, you know, you're selling it for $200, but people want to give you $25 for it. And you go into festivals and events, and people are walking past your table and they like what they see, but it's like as soon as you mention a price or something like that, they're not interested anymore. And you take all of your art out there and all this setup and all this stuff, and then you have to break it all down and take all that art back home and take all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You didn't sell anything, you know? So I went through a lot of that first before I ever really started selling any of my art. And we're talking 6 or 7 years of that.
Right. Sure. So you paid your dues.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord. And spend some more, but I'm with it.
Wow. Well, I just want to introduce you really quick to who you have, who's actually here with us. We have almost everybody is an artist here except Omar, who is a Lutheran priest. So he's going to love to see and hear about some of your artwork that has to do with the religious part of it, right? And John Dykes just came in. Hi, John. And we have,
good evening.
Yes, good evening. And we have Daniel Catholinas. He's also an artist. He is in New Mexico right now. And we have Roshi.
All right, nice to meet you.
Roshi, you are an artist too, right? Yeah.
Yes, I'm an artist. I'm a painter.
Yeah. And we have we have Helen Burrows, who is a wonderful painter as well. And she has traveled all over the world. She has a lot of stories to tell, but I know it's your night.
Native of California.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Blessing.
Yeah.
Blessing.
Right. And we have Cheryl. You could see her her portrait over there. She must have just stepped away for a second. And John Dykes, he also is an artist. He's in our current show that's going to be this month as well. So you guys are sort of having shows the same time, but John is in a group show. That's the Pandemic Live Therein show. Okay. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I'm going to go through your video that we put together, just to give somebody like a refresher. Okay. Oh, Cheryl, are you back? Okay. It looks like Cheryl's back. Great, Cheryl. Okay, I just wanted to introduce you to Rio. Cheryl is a wonderful textile artist. She does fabric art, very beautiful stuff, you know.
Well, all right then.
Rio, can you tell us what sonarvibilization means in your own words?
Yes, sonarvibilization is actually hearing sound and translating the vibe of what the musician or musical accompaniment is trying to sorry about that. It's trying to show. So like me personally, when I hear music, I actually see it. I see not necessarily the story that's being told, but almost the spiritual entity that influenced the person to create what they create. And I see the worlds that spiritual entity comes from, and I paint that on the canvas.
All right.
So this is something that I don't believe is. I honestly feel like this name will end up being coined as something else, because generally the person that is feeling this is not the person that comes up with the title. Like hip hop is not, like the word hip hop doesn't actually even come from the people that created it. It came from the people that admired it.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
admired watching it, like, and seeing it, hearing it. So then, like, same thing with this. You know, I know that someone will probably come out of left field and be like, "Oh, what you're doing is this." You know, but
right.
all I know is that that's what I feel, and that's what I translate on the canvas. I'm gonna add one more thing because I'm always long-winded. The reason, another thing is that all these pieces were painted with my hands. Like none of these are brushes. Everything is with my hands, because it's my personal belief that all we are is water, electricity, and vibration. That's all that we really are, and that we have like the ability to communicate that through our bodies. So I wanted to touch these paintings so that these paintings could not only look the way I look, but feel the way I felt when I created it and when I.
Wow.
So,
wow. Okay. Wow. That's something. That's something. All right. So thank you for that. So I didn't realize, because I know I read your statement and your bio, and it says, you know, painted with my hands, and I didn't realize it was your actual hands. You know, I thought it was like using your brush with your hands as opposed to airbrushing, or you know what I mean, something like that, or using other instruments. All right.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's enter our gallery here. I'm gonna see if I could. Move it. Let's start out with these guys here.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So this one is, they were here all along, Tupac.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And this is gold plaster acrylic latex. And this
what do we have to do to see the pictures?
You can't see the picture?
No, I can't. I mean, I can see you, but I can't see the painting.
Oh, okay.
Now I can see the artist, but above him I see a shadow of the painting.
Are you on a phone?
No, I'm on a laptop.
Okay.
Does anybody else have that problem, or does everybody see the painting?
I can see the painting, but I'm connected through my phone and not my laptop, so I don't know how it looks different from the laptop.
So Rio, are you on your phone? You're on your phone though, right? And you can see the painting, right?
Yeah, I'm on my phone. I can see it. Most of the time, it's either like you can push a part of the box where it shows the multiples of everybody. Right. And then if you're on your phone, you can swipe left or right maybe to see it. Maybe.
I hit share screen, and then it says this will stop other screen sharing. Do you want?
Yeah. Don't click share screen, because if you share your screen, you won't see the screen that I'm sharing. So I'm the only one who's sharing a screen. So if you're sharing a screen, maybe that's why you don't see my screen. So two people, at least not on this call, can you share?
Well, go ahead.
Now we're viewing your screen, unfortunately. Oh no. Oh no.
Pardon me?
You have to stop sharing your screen.
Now we're viewing.
You have a button that says stop share.
Yeah, right. Helen. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I hit that, so now I can see you all, but I don't see it paint.
Okay.
But I don't see the painting.
Because okay.
All right, so try.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. It's just gonna take a second. Okay, now you should see it, Helen, right?
Yes,
okay.
I do. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm very technically challenged, as you know, but I'm trying here.
Okay,
all good.
It's all good. Yes. Okay, Rio, continue. We're talking about this piece.
Okay. Well, this piece, along with the other piece that we'll be seeing, is called They Were Here All Along. And what I mean by they, I mean angels. Angels are here all along. And it's my feeling that we as human beings, you have to judge our life as a whole. Like, not by one mistake, not by one situation, not by one scenario, like as a whole. Like Tupac, for me as a musician and as a prophet even, spoke to people who were going through some of the most tumultuous moments in their life. And there's a speaker for everybody. Like, one person's speaker is not the same for everybody, but the ultimate thing should be, what are you leaving on the earth as your mark? What are you leaving on the earth as your mark? And what Pac and what Nipsey both left on this earth as it pertains to their generation of people, as it pertains to what we were going through in places where we have been forgotten in the ghettos and forgotten in the destroyed areas of America, is as a voice. Is a voice that said, yep, you can come out of that dirt, out of that filth, out of that hurt, out of that hate that you're in, and you can be something greater than all the things that people are telling you cannot be. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be torn down by where you are. You can come out of where you're at. And to me, that's, even if everybody doesn't understand that, what can be commonly understood, if you watch the man's life, you've seen the man's interviews, you've listened to more than just his music, then you know that his purpose was just to help. I want to help. It's the only way I know how to help. Like, he died. Let me give somebody a real understanding, real point. What were you doing at 25 years old? What were you doing at 20 years old? Okay, this man died at 25, which means that, like, most of us, I remember what I was doing at 20, and I hadn't accomplished nearly nothing as close to what either of these brothers had accomplished, as far as trying to lend a voice that would help, trying to lend a voice that would teach, trying to lend a voice that would bring us out of situations that we didn't have no answers to at the time, you know? And so you don't have it all figured out at 20 and 21 and 22, and you're not really supposed to, but he had enough love in his heart to say something that meant something to people who had no voice whatsoever. So it's a whole collection. They're not the only two, right. But they kicked it off because people expect angels to have like the white wings and the long glowing robe, and they walk up to you.
The figure's plaster?
Yes.
How did you make the figure?
So the figure itself, and I'm about to give a couple of trade secrets, but I'm gonna do it anyway. What I did was I took a art style that my father created called Silhouetto Relievo. I took that same style and call it Silhouetto Relievo Nouveau, which is masking off a shape and then putting plaster Paris over the entire thing, putting paint over the entire thing, and then peeling back the image.
So the image is plaster.
The image itself is just stark white.
Right.
It's just the canvas itself. But the plaster.
Oh, it is because it looks like there's a texture in the figure.
Yeah, that's from me putting layers of white over it and over it and over it and over it again.
It's very interesting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The plaster that you see around it has texture as well, and it's actually more raised than you can actually see on here. It's almost like if you were to look at mountains from 60,000 feet. That's kind of how it looks all around from an aerial view.
Okay.
And that's very raised up. And then what I took after that was a little bit of gold leaf, and I took iridescent gold paint from, Lord help me think of the company, Nova. And I lightly brushed with my hand over and over, just texture over texture over texture.
Is that gold leaf from the papers that you embedded in there, just rubbing the papers? What kind of gold leaf? Gold leaf paint?
Gold leaf paper, and it's only a little bit of that.
Right, it's very interesting.
The rest of it is me dipping my hands in gold paint and just lightly brushing over and over and over in a circle.
Very interesting.
Thank you. This one here had I added yellow and orange in there, and sometimes to get a blend, I was stipple with my fingers, like stipple and brush away, like almost like typing and brush away, type, brush away, type, brush away, type, brush away, like that all the way around.
Nice. Beautiful. All right. This one is
Eminem. So just to give you a little history of my background, like I'm a musician as well as an artist. So I actually went to Atlanta to kick off my rap career. That was it. I wasn't thinking about art at all. I was like, I am working on being the dopest, most dynamic lyricist you ever heard in your life. And I was already going up that ladder. And then life just came in and said, nah, that ain't where I want you to go. Like literally snatched me from that particular like direction and put me right into body painting. And that is what got me into painting, but I never left art. I mean, I never left music. I never left the love of music. I never left the love of everything that inspires me as a musician and an artist.
What do you mean by body painting? You mean tattoos, or like they do at the Laguna Art Festival?
No, more like taking paint and painting on bodies. I was actually on a TV show for like a body art competition show where you paint different things and stuff on people, or you paint them as like characters. In the video, yeah, that's what I started it off. Shameless plug. I'm on Netflix season 2. If you ever want to see exactly what I do.
You're on what?
I'm on Netflix. If you go to a show called Skin Wars, I'm on season 2 of Skin Wars on Netflix. You can watch that anytime you want to. And
well,
tell me what.
I'll have to watch it.
Indeed.
Skin Wars is great, man. Good job.
Oh man, thank you. Appreciate it.
Wow.
yeah, that was an experience all its own. That's a whole nother story.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
so Rio, tell us what is Triple X Temptation? Spirit of Triple X Temptation.
This one is really near and dear. This goes back to age again. XXXTentacion is a rapper who lost his life tragically to being robbed and murdered, like shot in his vehicle at 20 years old. At
Wow.
20. It really it hurt my heart for a number of reasons. The very first reason was I was exactly like him when I was 20 years old. When I was 19 and 20 years old, I was exactly like him. Like, he was a person who dwelled in the darkness, so to speak, as far as like, he would be a part of dark things, talking about dark things. But his interviews were so opposite of his music. His interviews was always talking about love. His interviews was always talking about helping people. His interviews was always talking about helping kids with depression. He would like go into communities and talk to people like that would generally be dangerous areas that he shouldn't even be in. But he would go in there and he would talk to the kids, he'd talk to children and tell them, you don't have to succumb to depression. You don't have to succumb to suicidal thoughts, like all these different things. His interviews showed that deep inside, he was trying to work out the ugly part of himself so he could get to the better part of himself. And when I was 20 years old, I was going through a lot of darkness, like confusion. Like, as a teenager, you always have like, the world's against you, like the world's against me, the world, like we have that as a teenage mind. But then you come out of that and you start to really realize who you are, what your purpose is. And he was that child who never got a chance to grow into the opportunity that I saw. I saw the potential in him. I saw it. And it was like, every time I heard his music and saw his interviews, it was like, I wanted to reach out to him and say, bro, I know what you're feeling. I can actually even help you with some of the things that you don't understand because I went through it, you know, and I can truly say that I'm a child of light, you know. And another thing is, I have a son who's 7 years old and his birthday is the exact same day, January 23rd.
Wow.
You know,
wow.
And it hurt my heart so much. So I painted him because it was so many other people too, other teenagers as well, whose hearts were just bleeding when they found out that he died, because his music was helping them through their depression and helping them through their suicidal thoughts and all that type of stuff. And I just wish the world had gotten a chance to see the potential I saw that he never got a chance to get to because his life was cut short.
Yeah, wow. So you say, when did he die? How old was he?
He was 20 years old when he died. He died on June the 15th, and he was born the same day as my son, January 23rd.
Wow, wow.
So, yeah, it was just all those things that just bing, 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 bing hit my heart. And I felt the best way for me to express how I felt about it was to paint him live and just use my hands, all my energy and the electricity of love that I could pour out and just paint him with my hands.
Wow, wow.
Okay, so this piece is called Use This Gospel. Now, I think for the next few pieces you all are going to see they all come from the Jesus is King album from Kanye West. And I know everybody has like mixed feelings about Kanye West and all these emotions like that. But I'm a person that tends to look at more than one resource. Whenever I want to know something, I'll read books, I'll watch the internet, I'll watch the interviews, I'll watch the news, I'll listen to other opinions, I will read magazine articles. I need to have enough information from more than one source in order for me to get a spiritual discernment behind what is going on with people, because I care about people beyond just what you ate last night or how you feel about a particular thing. I care about people all the way down to the protons, neutrons, and electrons spinning around in the atoms that create every essence of who you are, and then beyond into the spiritual. Like, I want to know that much. So When I heard Kanye West's album, Jesus is King, the very first thing that I heard was, he's trying.
Right.
I'm trying. I don't have all the answers. I make a lot of mistakes. I say a bunch of stupid stuff, but I'm trying. And as long as I'm alive, I have the opportunity to correct mistakes. I have it as long as I'm alive. So Use This Gospel is a track on his song. And when I heard it, I just saw this gigantic angel.
Wow.
Gigantic. We're talking hundreds of feet high with a huge shield that couldn't be penetrated. And he was holding like Kanye in his arms, and he was moving through the earth slow, like he was taking his time moving through the earth. Like nothing can stop me. Nothing can penetrate this armor. Nothing can take me down. I'm going to use this gospel, and I'm going to move forward in protecting and helping along the way. And no evil force is going to knock this out or take it out. That's what I felt when I was painting it. So the awe that I feel is just the giganticness of the angel. It was gloriously gigantic.
Wow.
So, yeah.
But it's beautiful, the way you have the motion in this imagery, and you have the clouds, you're depicting exactly how you're describing it. Is awesome. Omar, do you have any comments you want to make on this one? Or is he there?
I don't actually, other than to say that I'm honored to listen in and learn from a lot of his spiritual impressions, as well as the interpretation of those visually, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any comments they'd like to make? I give you guys a chance to sort of.
Well, I'm interested. This is Cheryl Hurd. Well, I see a lot of the color blue. You use blue a lot. And I was just wondering, what does that mean? Blue for you.
It's another theory of mine that a lot of people are attracted to blue, but why? Why? What is our beautiful attraction to the color blue? Even in the daytime, the sky is blue. And it makes me believe that heaven is made out of sapphires, that heaven has the color of sapphire blue, all shades of blue, but mainly like a blue, a beautiful, clear blue that you can see through. I feel that in my spirit. And because of that, this one and all the other ones that you'll see, it was like I was so tempted to use other colors. I was so tempted, but it was like the spirit that kept hitting me was like, no, you can use every hue of blue and a little bit of gold, but blue. I want you to use blue for the entire collection. So you're gonna have to figure it out. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to. How do I get different levels of blue and not use any other colors?
Wow.
That's where that came from.
Cool.
When I see the blue and the gold, I think of royalty.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. Royalty and
like royal blue.
Great heights, like you said, the sky.
Yeah. Wow.
Blessings.
Yeah, and this one here.
Okay, moving to the next one. This one also is by the title song of the album, Chick-Fil-A. So I know here, if anyone's ever heard the song, you would think that I would maybe paint a Chick-fil-A or a chicken sandwich on this, but none of that hit me. What hit me instead was another angel who had the head of a lion, the helmet of a lion, and the helmet had angel wings that sprawled all the way up. And this was all of these angels, by the way, are absolutely powerfully gigantic. Like I can even see them as I'm sitting up here talking to you all. It's like I can see them. And I mean, see it in my mind, but like I can see it if I had to ever actually create this in real life. But it was so huge. And this particular angel was playing a very long mandolin, and he was sitting in Indian style, and he was just gliding across the top of the clouds.
Wow.
And as he glided across the clouds, you would see big, bold clouds around him. And every now and then you would see electricity from the lightning just glow, make the clouds just glow in different corners as he was just gliding forward through the sky. You could also see souls that were saved walking on a thin ribbon that's going around his body, going from a thin ribbon into the mandolin, as if it's a safe house. So all of those souls are just like kind of like being raptured up in this angel that's gliding across the sky, just picking them up, picking them up, picking them up, picking them up, and going down the ribbon from his crown, down the ribbon into the mandolin where the vibration of peace is being played across the strings. Wow. So I could literally see that. If I had to animate any of these things, I could legitimately do it. Wow. I could legitimately animate them.
Wow. Nice. That is awesome. Now his face here, what does, because when I first looked at it, it looked like maybe a lion's face or an animal more. So who did you have in mind for that face?
What I had in mind immediately was that war angels look all different types of ways. Okay. Like spiritually, the way it hits me is you have war angels whose position is to be diplomatic all up until the point that they don't have to be, like up to the point where they have to strike, you know. Okay. But that lion head piece is really a helmet. And if you look under closer, you'll see that he has a face. Okay. The helmet is kind of covering over that face. And then the helmet has wings attached to it as well.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I see the ribbon going around his body here. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Anybody have any other comments they want to make before we go ahead? Or questions about that piece?
Yeah, this piece I find it very striking. The hybrid between angelic being and animality is so at the heart of the biblical imagination. Wow. And I wonder if the artist need not necessarily have to have something in consciousness in order to strike the hybrid in the image, in the crafting of the image, so that when the artist goes on underscoring spirituality and the visualizing of spirituality, I find it a little bit eerie that he comes up with at least a helmet that blends the angelic life with the animal life. And I wonder what is the relationship between that and just psychic life. I think someone said that no one knows where the, say, emotional line and ends and the spiritual line begins, but it is a continuum. And I find this piece to be profoundly spiritual, but also scary biblical in how pronounced this type of blend is, particularly in the book of Daniel and Ezekiel.
Wow. This is the beautiful part of expressing the art, because I learn things from other people's observations and thoughts on the art, because it doesn't do anything but just heighten my curiosity even more when it comes to me painting my next piece or painting my other, next collection. Like, and it makes me think about what I painted. Like, because I will say this, there are many times where when I say I leave, I don't mean that I'm not aware of my surroundings, but I am aware that I am not in complete control anymore. Like spiritually, something is moving with me. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell you exactly what that is. You know, in Hebrew, it's the Ruach Kadesh. So all of that is the breath of life.
Okay.
And other people call it the Holy Ghost. Other people call it the Holy Spirit. Some people call it catching the spirit. You know, all of it is the same thing. People speak different languages. So they're going to give you the language of what they speak, but it's all saying the same thing. We are all spiritual beings anyway. So if you're trying to get higher and you want you want the things that you're doing to have a much more, in my opinion, more eternal effect. Spirit is eternal. So I'm reaching for the spirit so that my work can be eternal.
Got it. Got it. So you call these group the War Angels, right? You said war.
This particular one, this one and I think the last one, they had the energy. This is what I'll say. They had the energy of a war angel.
Okay.
And the way I felt it when it was kind of presented to me is that it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm coming to destroy. It means that I'm like, even when people send soldiers out, they'll send soldiers out to scout. They send soldiers out to just do reconnaissance. You know what I'm saying? Everything isn't about just like striking and fighting and shooting and like tearing things apart. Sometimes things are about observation of the land and seeing what's going on first to see if there's even a need for me to do anything, you know? And then if a situation takes place and things have to go to war, then, you know, they're prepared. They are built for it. They don't have to go and get anybody who does war. They do war. So this angel still had a very peaceful vibe to it.
Yeah.
Sorry if y'all hearing a lot of this is
this one's called Everything We Need.
Yes, Everything We Need. Also coming from the title album from Kanye West. And another one, when I felt this, the very first thing I felt was a circle. I felt a circle, just like, and then right after I felt a circle, I heard almost like the chant of electricity. You know, electricity hums in transformers. You know, you can hear the electricity humming in it. So I could hear just like this tribe of electric people going around in a circle. And they were going around a circle so fast, they started kind of creating like a generator in the universe. And that generator started creating electricity that kind of electrified the world. But but the word that I felt was not electrified. It was inspired. That's the word I felt. It felt like inspire the world. And if you see them, like they're like, what I felt was so much joy. And I wanted to like present that in the painting that they were just dancing with so much content. They were dancing with everything they had in their body. They were dancing with so much joy, and they were feeding off each other's joy so much that they never wanted to stop. They just kept going and kept going and kept going. It's like, we got everything we need. We have everything we need. So why would there ever be a reason to be unhappy? Why would there ever be a reason to be sad? Why would there ever be a reason to be depressed? Why? And the more I painted it, the more joy I felt. And I spent time with this one. I just swirled. I painted this painting the way it looks. Like I moved around with it. You know, like, I painted with it. I was just going into joy of what I felt while I was painting this. So yeah, this brings me joy even now just looking at it.
It's magnificent, magnificent. And I love how you balance the warm and the cool. Yes, this is a cool painting, but the gold is very well placed and it's very balanced. And it's just, yeah, I love the execution of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody have anything they want to say or ask Rio about this one?
Okay. Beautiful. This one is I'm trying to remember the title.
It's called God Is.
God Is. Yes. Also from the album Jesus is King, God Is. And when I heard the song, another thing that I should tell you all is that my background, like I was raised in a Pentecostal church. My father was a pastor. We went to church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Bible class, prayer meetings, revivals, all of that. When I heard this song, it kind of took me back to some of the church songs that I would hear as a child. And the very first thing that hit my mind was just mountains. Just mountains and mountains and mountains, like everywhere. Like as far as you could see, ahead of you, as far as you can see down you, as far as you can see to the left and right. Like it was mountains everywhere. And in the midst of that was a man standing on the peak of a mountain, just praising God. That's it. Just right on the edge of the mountain, just praising God, like as loud as he could, echoing through the mountains, echoing. And the light is a shining of gratitude from God, from the clouds, from the sky to him, seeing that I hear you. I hear your praise. I hear your prayer. I'm shining on you, you know? And the rest of it was just kind of completing the rest of that title, which is God is merciful. God is loving. God is, powerful. God is graceful. God is, like, all of those words I could just hear.
Like my favorite verse is God is love.
God is love. Yeah. Truly love. And so, all of that was just like echoing in my mind, just almost the same way I pictured his voice echoing throughout all of the mountains. And I wanted people to see this painting and almost like feel like they were flying in on it, and also like they were just what's the word? How do I want to say it? Almost wanted them to feel the vibration themselves, like the vibrating of this praise, like echoing even through them, as it would through a cave, or as it would through the mountains, or it would through like an open area. So that's what this piece is.
All right. Now, what are these balls here that are like coming down? Are they orbs, or do they represent planets, or you see here?
Yeah. It was a few things. It was symbolically birds.
Okay.
And then it was also symbolically stars.
Okay.
Now I will say this. Once again, being in the vibe of painting, you there, and it's like, I feel it. It looks right. It feels right. Boom, I'm doing it. So
it looks great. But like I love any part of the story, If I see something, I'm gonna ask it.
Yeah. Well, art for me is an interpretation of like the spirit, but then right after that, it's also free and open to be an interpretation of the people. Right. This art is not for me. So like it's through me, but it's not for me. Right. That's the way I feel. It's for the people. So if people look at it and say, I see this, and out of this is what it means to me, guess what? In my opinion, that interpretation is right. Sure. Even if they're confused, even if they look at it and say, I don't like this piece, and it makes me think that you're an idiot, I'll be like, well, you're free to that too. I like that interpretation too. Like, it's for the people.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any comments on this one before we go along?
I just have to say that I love all of the way he's shaded the blue and the curves, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love how some of the peaks are upside down. like stalagmites or whatever they're called, almost. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Stalactites and stalagmites.
Right. I know it was stag something.
Well, to explain that real quick, it was actually two things.
Okay.
It was the front part of a cave, and then it is also the mirror image of him. Oh, like if you turn it the other way, it's like it's the sky. It's the mountains in the sky. Okay. As well as the mountains in below. So he's actually in the sky where he's sitting. I mean, where he's standing, and he's actually in the sky the other way around. So the universe of this particular painting happened to just be everywhere was the sky. Below him was the sky, and above him was the sky.
Okay, got it. Okay.
The unique thing I find about it is I feel like I'm inside and looking out. You know, I feel like I'm inside and surrounded, and I'm looking out. It's just unique.
It also reminds me of a survivor story where those of us still trapped inside some type of cave is looking at an emancipated being who has found his way out.
Yeah. See? I'm learning. Oh man, this is amazing. I love it. Thank you for that.
But that's very true, Omar. I felt like he is praising God, and I think that's a good reason he's out of the cave.
When I first saw this, I was struck by the cavity itself. The cavity is very hopeful.
Yes.
It also made me think of something the artist was commenting on earlier, the pains and trials, a portfolio of woundedness that comes with juvenile experiences in the United States and having to endure the death throngs of so many unnamed things and named things. This is some type of exit narrative, which is very, very peculiar. I also have a lot of thoughts and a lot of emotions about the use of the blue. I mean, this is a motif that keeps popping up. Because to me, I associate blue reductionistically with blueness, with sadness, which is a very personal narrative. But to see so much blue in such creative juxtapositions and ways makes me also think about doing positive and creatively with pain and sadness, and we can use it to do something, to advance something deeply meaningful.
Yeah.
Which is the trap, I feel, or it has been the trap for me, that the temptation is always some type of nihilism or some type of fatalism or some type of a brand of depression. But what happens when the blue doesn't leave? So you use it. So what do you use it for? It seems to me that this particular artist uses it for not only for the good, but for the holy. And that, to me, that, I don't know, it's kind of crazy.
Man, excellent. I love it.
Rio,
Thank you for that.
It's wonderful that you have the courage to show your art, to talk about your art, to really let us into your head for a moment, right? So I know it's very courageous of you. So thank you for putting your artwork out there for the world to see, not just on body paints, but also on canvas, right?
Yes.
And these are large pieces. They're not tiny,
Yeah.
Beautifully done. So, yeah, I just want to thank you for definitely making the time to talk with us and share your visions, not just visually, but also verbally. So I know you're a musician, as you said. I know you rap and you want to do that. I think you're really pulling it all together in this presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was another thing that was like that hit me when I decided to do this was that the paintings have to be big.
Yeah.
Like he's like, the paintings cannot, like, you want people to feel this, like feel like they're in it, so they can't be small paintings. And I tell you, some of these I looked up on, which was like canvases that people had thrown away because I was dumpster diving a few.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I got to get this out. I have to paint. And then the rest of them, I was like, look, this I'm about to say something that's like a true artist thing.
Okay.
Am I going to eat or am I going to get this canvas? And I was like, I got to get this canvas. I got to paint this.
You know, another artist just sent me an email just with that. She said, Carolyn, I need either money for painting or to eat. I need to paint. I said, girl, you're funny. But it's true. It's true. It's part of life, you know, for artists, it's part of life because that's where your power is. That's where your nurturing comes from. You know, it comes from your inner divinity, your spiritual power is in creativity itself. You know, so you're putting it out there for everybody to see. Like you said, they can interpret it however they need to, but you've given them something to interpret, you know? So again, thank you.
Thank you all as well.
So tell us about water.
Water is another one where these particular angels I saw not only live in water, they are symbiotic to water.
Oh.
They have merged their vessel with water. So this is another one where it was like I felt a lot of praise in painting it. The very first thing was as I started beginning the bottom part of it, I saw like a whirlpool. So I started painting and I even kind of like took my fingernails and raked it so it would have like the look of waves upon it.
Right.
The piece here that these three angels are in is like the stained glass window arches that you would see in some of the Catholic churches. And what is around them is rain, like water raining back down on them. So to explain that, all of that, what I saw was still water that turned into like a whirlpool. And as the whirlpool came up, it's almost like how water comes out of a water fountain, just like spurts and then comes back, spurts and then comes back like that.
Yes.
I saw the angels doing that, but they were whirling out of the water and then falling back and then whirling out of it again and coming back. And every time they whirled out of it, you could see the angel wings spread in the air and just like praise God again, and they come back and and the rain was filling the water, so it was never ending. It was like the rain was filling the ocean and the ocean was giving gratitude back to the sky and the sky was giving gratitude back to the ocean, and it just kept going.
Wow.
And it was just like an eternal symphony of praise and gratitude, praise and gratitude, praise and gratitude, the whole story. So this is another piece that brought me a lot of internal joy while I was actually painting and putting the piece together, because then my mind went even further than that, and I could see the animals of the sea rejoicing in the water, which is another piece I could have painted to the side, but I was like, it's so much. It's like, just try to get just try to get what you can without being long-winded, you know, with it.
Right.
No.
I have a question for you, Rio. I have a question about your painting. You said you paint with your hands. Now, some of these are so detailed. Do you use your fingernails to paint the detailed fine lines? How do you?
Yeah, in some cases, I have grown my fingernails
Okay.
out long enough just to like cut a line, like
okay. Okay.
And then some techniques I learned along the way, like just using my hands to, like, you know, make cloudy like looks and blend it, you know. So yeah.
Okay.
A lot of learning.
Yeah. I think that the details, you know, and the broad strokes are just very well balanced, and it just comes together like this visual song that's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything they'd like to ask or comment on water?
This is Rose. Yeah, I wanted to just say something before as well, but I was having a hard time to unmute myself.
Okay.
Unmute. Okay. Yeah, first of all, I'm just so grateful for, you know, having this call and just being here with you and everybody else on this call, because I don't know if it's because of COVID that we're able to do this. I have no idea, but I'm super grateful. Very inspiring. Thank you so much. And I was about to ask the same question regarding like the technique and the way you paint, and like how do you get all the fine details? Because I mean, and you know, I wish I could watch you just do like a live painting of one of these paintings, especially the previous piece. I mean, that's a big one. That's a huge piece, I think, if I'm not wrong, like in terms of the size comparing to everything else that we just saw so far. So I just want to stand in front of that one alone and just feel it and just see what it is like in front of it. But yeah,
well, the first two,
gorgeous.
I will say this: there are probably two pieces. We haven't even got to them yet, but there's probably two pieces where, because all of the collection y'all are seeing, this is the first time I ever painted with my hand. All of these is the first time I ever painted with. So some things I was learning along the way while I was actually doing it, and then other things I was like, man, how do I do the detail? I didn't know how to do it. So the first two paintings y'all will see when we get down there, one of them was done with like the end of my paintbrush, because I wasn't using my nails then. But these that you're looking at now, this is when I had figured it out, and I was like, oh, okay. And I started literally using my fingernail in some of these cases to like make it super duper sharp, you know. So it's video for all of these. I'll make sure y'all get a way to see that too.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And you know, just this water piece, like just the effect in the background, the way you've painted the background, like that's literally like, it just made me think of like, did you like drip it? Did you like flip it back and forth? That's what I was thinking first thing when I just saw it. And I was just wondering about it until you explained. So I have a better idea now of what the process was like. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm just in awe, and I'm just enjoying the show. So thank you.
I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. Believe me, that makes it for me too. You know what I'm saying? To see the people like pleased by it. So yeah, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
All right.
Carolyn, I'm gonna leave you all too. I really enjoyed it, and I love your artwork, and I love the blue. It's one of my favorite colors.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you, and I'm gonna try and find you on Netflix.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.
Okay, so let's look at hands-on.
Okay. So hands-on. Once again, another piece from the title of Jesus is King album. Okay. This is another one too where I just saw a huge pair of hands, hands that had aged. Like it was almost like your grandmother's hands, but like powerful, strong. Like story is in his hands, history is in these hands, moving and like doing great things with these hands are in these hands, you know. And I saw a very huge pair of those just moving through the street, and the other ones are other hands reaching out to touch it, to be blessed, like reaching out, touch it, reaching out to touch it.
And can you tell us what the letters mean?
Yeah, I was on my way. That was one. The letters that you see, YHWH, is the Tetragrammaton of the Hebrew language in the name of God.
Right.
So it has come to my understanding at this point in my life that this translates to Yahuwah. Some say Yahweh.
Right.
For me, it's translated to Yahuwah.
Okay.
Who is God of all God, Lord of all lords, and his son Yahushua, or Yahushua, which comes from Yahuwah, which comes from the YHWH Tetragrammaton, is what that stands for and what that means. Once again, when we get to these aspects of spirituality and religion, we have everybody has their thoughts and their opinions about it, and their feelings on it, and to whom it may concern. How you feel about that is how you feel about that, and that's great. But as far as the God I serve and the way I move, Yahuwah is the name I know. Yahushua is the name I know. People call him Jesus. Hebrew, Yahushua is just the Hebrew name of Jesus. We are all saying the same thing, or better yet, we're all talking about the same person, even though we might be all saying something different. Right. But it's power in the name.
Right. Yeah. So this one every hour. I'm just curious. Is this like a self-portrait?
No, this is actually Kanye.
Oh, West. It is Kanye.
If it looks like me, then that's
yeah.
It
looks like you. It looks like you. Right.
But this is from Every Hour. This is the title song, and
okay.
This was actually the first one that I did. This was the very first painting I ever done with my hands.
Okay.
So this is where I had not figured out, really how to use my hands to do the complete piece. So I did use a little brush on this one to make sure that I got his eyes and eyebrows and nose and mouth, those parts of it down real good. And then the rest of it I used to do with my hands. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. I know we got about 8 minutes left. I don't want to keep everybody too long, but okay. I think we're doing good.
I'll get through it fast. I won't explain this fast. I won't take so long to explain everything.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We really appreciate it.
No doubt. Thank you so much. This one is called On God, from the Jesus King album, and what I felt also was something like heavenly piano keys that had been sprawled all around in a circle, and they were all being lit up, being played, and there was an angel in the middle of it playing all these keys, and there were two angelic bird-like creatures that worked like a what is it called, sonophone? Am I saying it right? The old recorders that look like a big horn. They would crank. I think I'm saying it right. But they kind of worked as an angelic version of that, and they were spinning the records of the sounds, and the gold is pretty much the vibration of this beautiful sound being resonated throughout the universe. So that's what that piece is.
And the person in the center represents?
This person in center represents pretty much the trumpeting angel. That's the way it was laid down to me. Okay. The angel that is trumpeting the return of the Almighty.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, we got, I think, maybe 2, maybe 3 more pieces.
Yeah. Oops.
This next one showing up is.
Uh-oh. Why did it go upside down? Oh, no. That's weird.
But I can remember. I can explain it while you're straightening it.
Okay.
This piece is called Jesus is Lord from the album as well.
Okay, let me go back.
And this was another one where I was actually looking up at the sky. So just like looking up, and it's a tunnel of clouds all the way back up to as far as I can see. And I was looking at all of these angels from a worm's eye view, just like coming out of the clouds from different directions of the whirlpool, playing golden trumpets and just praising the return of the Almighty. Another piece that pretty much had praise and an announcement, almost like trumpeting an announcement of the King returning. So that's what that piece is.
Okay. Nice.
The next one is Salah. And these were once again very huge, super huge, like so big it's frightening. So big of an angel, it would just scare you to even look at it. That's how big they were. And these angels also had kind of like merged themselves into the mountains. So not only were they angels, they were part mountain as well. They were part of the mountains. Okay. And they were just stretching their bodies up to the sky and praising God.
Nice. This is very, very fine work. Very fine work. I can see how you progressed from your very first hand painting to this one here. I could tell you really polished up your technique here for sure.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And this one actually, in fairness as well, this one, the little clouds that's below, that's the only airbrush work that I did is with the clouds hovering at the lower part of the mountain, because I wanted to have fog fade.
Right. Well, you pulled it off. You pulled it off. It's okay. It's okay to mix media. Hey, if you can use all the implements that you can to convey and communicate what you feel inside, right? So school really helps you. I'm just talking for myself. You can't learn how to really paint in school. They teach you the tools that you can use. They show you all kind of different tools that you may not have known about.
Right.
So whatever tools you can lay your hands on that you can master, use it. It's great that you have your hands that you can master using the paint with your hands. But hey, if you've got a part like right here, because I was looking at the clouds at the bottom, I'm like, wow, that's really cool. It's just, I think it's executed very well, very well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Does anybody have any other comments on this one, or?
Yes, I love everything. Everything is so beautiful. And I love the connection that you make between heaven and earth. Even like I say, the angels they are the mountains. So there's, like I said, they're so huge. They are mountains, but they're connected to the earth and heavenly bodies. Just everything is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Simply, your whole way of thinking is beautiful. Let's just say that your mind is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh man, yeah, this is a joy. I'm really appreciative of this whole experience. This one is Follow God, and real quick. Everybody, the first thing that hit me is everybody has their interpretation about what God looks like, but whatever gets you to him is the only thing that's important. That's it. Whatever gets you to him, that's what's important. That's what this painting means. Like, people feel like, well, I don't read the Bible. Okay. God, you particularly may not need to read the Bible, but you may have seen something, or you may have been a part of something that still gets you to the same God that person reading the Bible got to. Whatever that is, get about doing it. And that's what that piece means, because he's broken up into what is like on a, what is it? I don't know my left from my right, but the other side of him is like an afro. And like a face, like black Jesus, and then the white Jesus that we know, and then other parts broken off in little pieces of the white Jesus, and then all these different aspects, right? But it's like everybody has their idea, and all of the ward, all the discussion about who he is and what he looks like and all of that. Are you making the walk? Are you making the effort to try and figure it out to get to him? No matter what you think you look like, no matter what you think other people may feel about it, are you making an effort to walk the righteous walk? And that's what's happening with the two figures. There's a man and there's his son. Yeah. Or his child. It don't have to be like a boy. It could be a girl too. It's like, but it is a father, because it's like our heavenly father and then our earthly father. Is our earthly father putting us in the right direction of our heavenly father? Are we being led by the right people? Because heavenly father also can mean your preacher. Right. It's the preacher leading you in the right direction. It's the spiritual guidance person that you talk to. Are they leading you in the right direction? Are they leading you to follow God? That's it. Nice. Without being long-winded, that's it.
I was gonna say, preach it, brother, preach it. like Medea says, hallelujah.
Right.
The former piece is also very powerful in that it is a story of decapitation, as I see it. And it reminds me of John the Baptizer and the cost of discipleship. And I mean, if the title of the piece is Follow God, Salvador Dali's The Crucifixion is very reminiscent of this as well. I love the levitating, decapitated head. I think you are a mystic in so many profound ways. And I find this particular imagery very dated. It's very much 21st century. Yeah. Where the head experience is very much a decapitated experience, where there is little, if any, connection with the body or embodied reality. That's one. And then two, I find this piece very telling in that it is some type of lament as far as why does it have to be that the mystical psyche has to sort of go through the spiritual crucifixions that it does. I guess what I'm trying to ask myself is, when I see this image, the question that it's evoked is there room for spirituality in our present systemic self? And when I look at this image, the answer is a clear-cut no. And I personally, I find that very, very, I don't know, just alarmingly accurate.
Dynamic, outstanding.
Wow, yeah.
Thank you for that.
I love how when you talk earlier, Rio, about animation, this piece here makes me feel like it is in motion. Like at the very bottom, you could see like the earth, like you see at the bottom here, there's these long, like, picked up, and now this is dripping down. Part of the earth is dripping down,
Yeah.
It's a lot of motion, and I could see this. It when I look at it, even though I know it's still, it feels like it's moving. It's really
awesome.
Really
awesome. you know, all of these pieces have like revolving revelations for me. Like the more I see, the more I question, the more I get answers, then more questions I have. I'm doing that with my own artwork.
Yeah.
You know, so it's lovely to hear all of these like perspectives on all of these art pieces, man. It's amazing. This is a fantastic favorite group of mine, Bone Thugs and Harmony, a rap group. The song that really changed my mind was Crossroads. And if anyone's familiar with that, if you haven't heard it before, seen it before, it was one of the most pivotal shifts in hip hop because it added a spiritual element nobody had ever touched on. Nobody had ever touched on the spiritual aspect of crossing over into the afterlife. In a way that was like church. It reminded us of being in church, and they blended what some would consider street music, gangster rap, and spirituality and church all in one. And it resonated even with people who don't listen to rap and don't listen to hip hop, and actually thought that everything about it was very deplorable and, you know, disgusting. It even resonated with people like that. So Bone Thugs and Harmony, as they continue to progress in their career, they started doing a lot of other songs that would touch on spirituality beyond just going to church. And it was able to reach people who didn't go to church and who started going to church because they could now see the connection between, yeah, I drink, I smoke, I'm doing all these things that are, you know, probably completely contrary to being a Christian. But now I can see the connection between how I can go from that to getting out of that and changing my life into something that's going to make me a better human being. And I love and respect these brothers. I got a chance to meet quite a few of them, and that's what this piece is. It comes from that album, the Crossroads album, those figures, and that spirituality helped me to find a higher. No, it helped me to find a more diverse way of expressing myself to people who wouldn't even look at a Bible.
Wow.
You know, so that's an ode to them.
Wow. Thank you so much.
And
Rio.
I think that brings us full circle.
Yeah, that's it. That was the last piece. Yeah, because we started with the gold ones, right?
Yes.
Very good.
That's full circle. Outstanding.
Well, Rio, can you give us your word of wisdom? I know you gave us a lot of your insights, but there are a lot of artists on the call. Not everybody's artist, but I mean, what would you give? What would you say the best piece of advice you've ever heard? Whether it's, and then I'm going to ask you, what's the best piece of advice you would like to share with the attendees of this talk? And I'm gonna, so everybody could see each other, I'm gonna stop sharing. Unless somebody wanted to see one of the paintings again. No? Okay.
As an artist, I would say, if you're scared to do it, you probably should be doing it. If you're scared to approach it, you probably should be approaching it.
All right. And what was the best piece of advice that you ever received?
The only way you want to do it. I think people that scared to do a certain thing, I found in my life, intuitively and instinctually, that every single time I didn't do it, and I kind of should have done it, I just walk away with a bunch of regrets, and I don't like the way that feels. I don't like the what ifs. man, I should have talked to that person. Man, that was celebrity was there. I should have just told him I paint. Like, I was too scared. And so I just sat there and did nothing. And then I went home like, man, the opportunity was right there. You didn't even do anything.
Wow.
Because I was scared. So if you're scared to do it, do it.
Do it. Okay. I like that. Do I hear amen from anybody out there? All right. Well, thank you, Rio. I really appreciate you, man. You were just a wonderful talk. Guys, you hung out with us all night here. Thank you. Would anybody who is on this call right now,
thank you for your patience.
Yeah, thank you. Anything any of you would like to share or say or give feedback, anything before we say goodnight?
Just thank you. Thank you very much for being here, Rio. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for the powerful words and the observation and the perspectives and all of that, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I think I could hear the music and all of it. So I'm an artist in the entertainment singing. So the music and the water, I mean, it's powerful. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi again, this is Roshi. Thank you so much. It was amazing. It was a pleasure to be here. I'm so grateful. And I just wanted to say that the way I guess I connected with your pieces was based off of my own personal journey at this point of my life. I'm doing CODA. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. It's a 12-step program, and it's pretty much just focuses on spirituality. And the way you were talking about your pieces tonight, for me, it was about, okay, having belief, having faith, having something that I guess just not just pushes you forward, but I guess you step forward because to step forward and you trust whatever is going on. So they're super strong. I connected from my own personal experience. Thank you so much. And the angel figures, I hope you don't take it the wrong way, but I'm saying it with from a good nostalgic experience from my side. Kind of remind me of the Hercules Angels at the very beginning of the cartoon. I don't know even if you've ever watched it or if you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Wait, say it again. It was a truck that drove by, and what does it remind you of?
Do you know the angels from the beginning of the Hercules cartoon?
Hercules?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They remind me of that, and I'm like, I'm so happy to see it. I just love it.
They all come from somewhere. All those ideas come from somewhere. So, like, no, it doesn't offend me at all. Like, that's great. That's great.
Enjoyed them. Thank you so much.
No problem. My pleasure.
Great. All right, guys. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Art Impact International, here to nurture humanity through artists and their art. But there's no great art without great artists. That's what I say.
Yes.
So we're here to really support each other, and I'm very grateful that Zoom has created Zooms, that we could use it, right? And that we can, even though it's in the pandemic, we can still share ideas and sort of have like a little meeting here, we can't touch each other, but spiritually and in our heart, I believe we've touched each other. So thank you very much for all of your openness, guys, Omar and Roshi and Daniel and Cheryl. Now, Evangeline and Betty, I think you guys came in a little later, but Evangeline, she's muted herself, and Betty did too. So anyway, okay, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was
Nice
amazing.
meeting you.
Okay.
Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Okay.
Keep creating.
You all too.
All right.
Thank you, Carolyn.
You're welcome.